Hello students, in this video we will discuss the second part of the lesson, the Happy Prince. In first part we discussed up to the point that the Happy Prince ordered the little swallow to take out the sapphire from one of his eyes and give it to the young man, that playwright, to help him. But the swallow refused to do so, and finally the prince ordered the swallow to do it. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. It was easy enough to get in, as there was a hole in the roof. And finally the swallow was ready to take out the sapphire from the eye of the prince, and he plucked it out from his eye and flew away to give it to the young man in his garret, means the dark room where the young man was living. And it was very easy to get into his room, as there was a hole in the roof. He moved inside the room from that hole. Through this he darted. Darted means he pushed himself in and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, so he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings. And when he looked up, and he found the beautiful sapphire lying on the withered violets. As the young man had put his head under his hands, so he could not hear the fluttering sound of the bird's wings. When the bird entered his room, he could not hear the sound of his wings. So after that, when he looked up, the young man found a beautiful sapphire. It was lying on the withered violets. "I am beginning to be appreciated," he cried. After he saw the precious stone on the table, he was very happy to see that, and he cried that now he would be appreciated. "This is from some great admirer. Now I can finish my play." And he looked quite happy. He thought that his any great admirer of his has kept the stone there just to help him, and now because of that he could be able to finish his play, and he was looking very happy. The next day the swallow flew down to the harbour. Next morning the swallow moved to the seaport. He sat on the mast of a large vessel and watched the sailors working. Then he sat on the sail of that ship and he watched the sailors working there. "I am going to Egypt," cried the swallow. Then the swallow cried that now he was going to Egypt, but nobody minded. And when the moon rose, he flew back to the Happy Prince. Nobody listened to him, but as soon as the moon came into the sky, means it was the night time, the swallow came back to the Happy Prince. "I have come to bid you goodbye," he cried. Then the swallow cried that "I have come here to say you goodbye." "Swallow, swallow, little swallow," said the prince, "will you not stay with me one night longer?" Then again the prince asked the swallow to stay with him for one more night. "It is winter," answered the swallow. Then the swallow answered that "it is very cold here, and the snow will soon be here, and very soon snow will also be here. In Egypt the sun is warm on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles lie in the mud and look lazily about them." Then he explained that in Egypt the sun is warm, and the green palm trees and the crocodile lie in the mud. The crocodile lie lazily in the mud in Egypt, so he wanted to go to Egypt. "In the square below," said the Happy Prince, "there stands a little match girl." Then the Happy Prince further said that in the square below there was a little match girl. Match girl means the girl who sells matchsticks. She has let her matches fall in the gutter. Gutter means sewage, and her matchboxes, her matchsticks are fallen into the gutter, and they are all spoiled. And because they got wet and they are spoiled, and her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money, and her father was going to beat her if she would not carry any money and she is crying. She has no shoes or stockings, and her little head is bare. And she is not wearing any shoes and stockings, and her head is also bare. Pluck out my other eye and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. Then the happy prince asked the swallow to take out another eye, another sapphire from his eye, and give it to the little girl. Then her father would not beat her. Now it was the third task given to the swallow by the happy prince. First task was to give a ruby to the seamstress, and second task was to give a sapphire to the playwright, and this was the third task, to give another sapphire from his eye to the little match girl. I will stay with you one night longer, said the swallow, but I cannot pluck out your eye. The swallow was ready to be with that prince for one more night, but he was not ready to pluck out that another sapphire from the prince's eye. You would be quite blind then, because the prince would become blind after taking out another eye. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. Then again the prince ordered the swallow to take out another eye. So he plucked out the prince's other eye, and darted down with it. So the swallow took out another eye of prince and took it away to that girl. He swooped past the match girl. Swooped means flew very low, and he reached to the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand, and he kept the sapphire in the hand of that girl. What a lovely bit of glass, cried the little girl. The girl was very happy to see that bit of glass, and she ran home laughing, and she just moved to her home, and she was very happy and she was laughing. Then the swallow came back to the prince. You are blind now, he said, so I will stay with you always. Now there was opposite. The swallow was ready to be with the prince as the prince became blind. No, little swallow, said the poor prince, you must go away to Egypt. Now the prince wanted the swallow to go back to Egypt. No, I will stay with you always. But the swallow insisted the prince to let him stay with him, and he slept at the prince's feet, and the swallow slept at the feet of the prince. All the next day he sat on the prince's shoulder and told him stories of what he had seen in strange lands. In that city, whatever he was able to see, he explained everything to the prince. As the prince became blind now, he could not see anything, so the swallow became the eyes of the prince, and he was telling everything happening around in the city. Dear little swallow, said the prince, you tell me of marvelous things, but more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women. Then the prince said that you are telling me the marvelous things in the city, but according to him, more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women. For him, he should tell him the miseries of men and women. There is no mystery so great as misery, because according to prince there was no mystery like the misery, like the sadness in the city. Fly over my city, little swallow, and tell me what you see there. Means the happy prince wanted to come to know about the sadness or the miseries of the citizens of that country. He wanted to know that, not just about the happiness of the people, but he wanted to know the sadness about the people. So the swallow flew over the great city and saw the rich making merry in their beautiful houses, while the beggars were sitting at the gates. So the swallow took a round over the great city, and what he saw the rich man They were very happy in their beautiful houses, and whereas the beggars, they were sitting at the gates for begging. And he flew into dark lanes. He also flew into the dark lines where there was darkness, and saw the white faces of the starving children. And he saw the white faces of the hungry children looking out listlessly at the black streets. And they were just looking out listlessly at the streets, that somebody would come out from that way and he would help them. Under the archway of a bridge, two little boys were lying in each other's arms to try to keep themselves warm. Now, under the bridge, there is some place to sit. So, at that place, two little boys were lying in each other's arms. Why they were lying in each other's arms? To get each other, to get themselves warm, because it was very cold outside. How hungry we are, they said. They were thinking that they were so hungry. You must not lie here, shouted the watchman. Then instantly the watchman reached there, and he ordered the boys to move away from there, as they were not supposed to be lie there. And they wandered out into the rain, and the two little boys came out into the rain. Then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. Then the swallow came back to the happy prince, and he told the story, that incident of little boys to the prince. I am covered with fine gold, said the prince. Then the prince said that he was covered with fine gold. You must take it off leaf by leaf and give it to the poor, and living always think that gold can make them happy. Then the prince asked the swallow to take out that gold leaf one by one and give it to the poor and needy people, as the gold can help them, it can make them happy. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold the swallow picked off, till the happy prince looked quite dull and grey. Now one by one the swallow was peeling off the gold leaves from the body of the prince, and now the prince was looking quite dull and grey. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold he brought to the poor, and the children's faces grew rosier, and they laughed and played in the street. We have bread now, they cried. After the gold was peeled off from the happy prince, he was looking quite dull and grey, but he gave smile on the faces of poor and needy children, as their faces grew rosier. Now they were laughing, and they were playing in the street happily, and they had bread to eat. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. After that there was snowfall in the city, and after the snowfall it came the frost. Frost means Jamna. The snow was frost, and the streets looked as if they were made of silver. Because of the snow all around, the streets were looking as if they are made up of silver. Everybody went about in furs, and the little boys wore scarlet caps and skated on the ice. Everybody were wearing furs to protect themselves from the cold, and the little boys, they were wearing scarlet caps, and they were skating on the ice. The poor little swallow grew colder and colder, but he would not leave the prince. He loved him too well. Now it was too cold for the little swallow to tolerate, but he did not want to leave the prince now, because he loved him a lot now. He picked up crumbs outside the baker's door when the baker was not looking, and tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. The little swallow used to pick up the crumbs from outside the baker's door, eat, and try to keep himself warm by flapping his wings, as it was too cold outside. So he tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. But at last he knew that he was going to die. But the swallow knew that he will not be live long for more time, he was going to die. He had just enough strength to fly up to the prince's shoulder once more, and he didn't have so much strength to fly anywhere else, but he flew up to the prince's shoulder. Goodbye, dear prince, he murmured. He just murmured and said goodbye to the prince. Will you let me kiss your hand? Then he asked the prince to let him kiss on his hand. I am glad that you are going to Egypt at last, little swallow, said the prince. Now the prince was thinking that the swallow is going to Egypt finally. He did not know that the swallow is going to die because of the cold. So the prince was happy that finally the swallow was going to the Egypt. You have stayed too long here, but you must kiss me on the lips, for I love you. When the swallow asked him to give him permission to kiss him on his hand, the prince asked that he loved him a lot, so he should kiss him on his lips because they loved each other very much. It is not to Egypt that I am going, said the swallow. I am going to the house of death. Then the swallow told the happy prince that he was not going to Egypt. He was going to die. He was going to the house of death. Death is the brother of sleep, is he not? Then he said that death is the brother of sleep. As we sleep for some time, but when we die, we sleep forever. And he kissed the happy prince on the lips and fell down dead at his feet. And after that he kissed on the happy prince's lips, and after that he fell down dead at the feet of the prince. At that moment a curious crack sounded inside the statue as if something had broken, and as soon as the bird fell dead at the feet of the happy prince, there was a crack sound inside the statue as the heart of the statue was broken. The fact is that the leaden heart had snapped right in two. The heart made up of lead of that prince, it was broken in two parts. It certainly was a dreadful hard frost. But it is said that the heart was broken because of the cold, but actually the heart was broken because he was moved with the death of his beloved, that swallow. Early the next morning, the mayor was walking in the square below in company with the town councillors. Now the next morning, the mayor of that city, he was walking in the square at that area below in company with the town councillors, with the company of the town councillors. As they passed the column, he looked up at the statue. When he was passing that way, he looked at the statue of that prince. Dear me, how shabby the happy prince looks. Shabby means untidy. Then he said that the happy prince was looking very untidy. How shabby indeed, cried the town councillors, who always agreed with the mayor, and they went up to look at it. Now the town councillors were always agreed with the mayor. Whatever mayor said, they were always agreed with him, and they also said that yes, it was looking very untidy. The ruby has fallen out of his sword. His eyes are gone and he is golden no longer, said the mayor. Then the mayor said that there was no ruby in his sword, and his eyes were also gone. There were no sapphires, and he is no golden. He was not golden any longer now. In fact, he is little better than a beggar. Little better than a beggar, said the town councillors. As the town councillors were repeating whatever the mayor was saying, that he was not looking better like a beggar than a beggar. And here is actually a dead bird at his feet, continued the mayor. Then the mayor continued that there was a dead bird also at the feet of the statue. We must really issue a proclamation that birds are not to be allowed to die here. Proclamation means order or rule, that they should make a rule that birds are not allowed to die here. And the town clerk made a note of the suggestion. The writer is creating humor by saying this, that the birds are not allowed to die here. So they pulled down the statue of the happy prince. As he is no longer beautiful, he is no longer useful, said the art professor at the university. Pulled down means damaged. Now the statue of the happy prince was damaged. According to art professor of the university, the statue was no longer beautiful, so it was no longer useful, so it should be damaged. Then they melted the statue in a furnace. Furnace means fireplace. They melted the statue. As it was made up of lead, they melted it into the furnace. What a strange thing, said the overseer. Overseer means the supervisor. He found a strange thing when he melted the statue of the workman at the foundry. Foundry means the workshop for casting metals. This broken lead heart will not melt in the furnace. They found that the heart was not be melted in that furnace. We must throw it away, and they decided to throw the heart. So they threw it on a dust heap where the dead swallow was also lying. As the heart was not able to be melted, so they threw the heart on the dust heap, and on that dust heap the little swallow body was lying. So the heart of that prince and the swallow, body of the swallow, they were lying together. Bring me the two most precious things in the city, said God to one of his angels. Now one day God ordered one of his angels to bring him two most precious things in the city, and the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. What did the angel bring for the God? The leaden heart means that broken heart made up of lead, and the body of that bird. You have rightly chosen, said God. Then the God also praised the angel that you have chosen right things, for in my garden of paradise this little bird shall sing forever more, and in my city of gold the happy prince shall praise me. Then further God said that this little bird, that swallow, would sing forever in my city, and this happy prince would live in my city of gold, and he should always praise me. Now why the angel chose these two precious things in the city? Because both these swallow and prince, their hearts were made up of gold. Not actually gold, actually they were very kind hearted. They had a pure heart. That's why they were chosen by the angel. So this is the end of the chapter. Hope you understood. Thank you so much.